After having studied after having given you a brief introduction about the different functions of management in the first chapter, the 5 functions of management that we spoke about were planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Now let us know a little more about the first and foremost function of management, that is planning. What is planning? For a layman, what is planning? Planning is deciding in advance what is to be done, how is it to be done, by whom is it to be done, and when is it to be done. Basically, planning is nothing else but deciding onto the future course of action. We take a peep into the future. And we decide in advance that how are we going to deal with the situations that we are going to be faced with in the future. In a layman's language, planning basically bridges the gap between my present position and where I want to be. It bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Presently, if my sales turnover is, let's say, about 5 crores, right? And I want to take up my sales turnovers to about 15 crores. Then how am I going to bridge this gap of 10 crores? Planning is going to help me to bridge this gap. Now planning, if I talk about, it is present everywhere in all types of organizations, in hospitals, in schools, in government organizations, in non-profit organizations, even at your house, right? It is present everywhere. Planning is present everywhere. Why do we need to plan? क्यों planning की ज़रूरत है? Because future is uncertain. We are not certain that कि जो situation से हम आज deal कर रहे हैं, आने वाले कुछ हफ्तों में भी same situations रहने वाली हैं, right? Because future is highly unpredictable. Therefore, we need to make assumptions. We need to make our own guesswork about the future conditions that we might be facing and plan accordingly so that we are able to deal with those situations in the best possible manner. Planning equips us to deal with these future conditions in the best possible manner, right? Now, coming to what are the different features of planning? What are the features of planning? Planning is the primary function of management. It is the first and foremost function of management, right? What do we do in planning? In the function of planning, first of all, the broad objectives and goals of an organization, they are determined, right? And then we also develop plans, or we decide onto the course of action that is going to be undertaken so that these organizational goals are achieved effectively and efficiently, right? It basically provides a basis. Planning provides a basis for the other functions of management also. It is only on the basis of the plans, right, or the objectives and the goals laid down under the function of planning that we decide on to the organizational structure. What organizational structure is going to be best suited to achieve the plans, or to achieve the organizational goals or objectives which have been set out, right? Then staffing is also done in accordance with the plans, right? Direction. For directing also, you need to, for directing, what do we do under the function of directing? Basically, directing is all about what you want your men to do, right? And making sure that they do it in the best possible manner. Wherein we translate the goals and objectives set out in the process of planning into the work to be done by the people working in an organization, right? Then we come to controlling. Controlling is all about comparing the actual performance with the standard performance. Standard performance कहाँ से आएगी? That is as per the plans. मतलब standard performance क्या है? हमारी objectives. हम अपनी actual performance को compare करते हैं अपने objectives के साथ, and then we find out deviations in the process of controlling. So basically, controlling is also dependent upon planning. Second, planning focuses on achieving objectives. Before you decide on to the course of action that has to be undertaken, first and foremost thing is you have to set out the organizational goals and objectives. until and unless you have set out a goal and objective, right? How are you going to formulate a course of action that has to be undertaken? So first of all, specific goals are to be defined, which are to be achieved by the organization. Then it is pervasive, meaning it is present. Planning is present in all types of organization and is present at all levels of an organization, right? It is present, if I talk about hospitals, definitely yes, it's present. In schools, it is present. When you see your diary, right? If you see your school diary, what is it? That's planning, right? Do we not give you in advance about the school functions? We give you a schedule for examination, right? We give you a schedule for your round assessments and your formative and summative assessments. What is that? That is planning. We are peeping into the future and we are deciding in advance that what is to be done in future. Clear? And it is present at all levels of organization. We talk about the top level management, we talk about all levels of management, top level management, middle level management and supervisory. Top level management plans for the organization as a whole, right? Middle level management, it prepares the departmental plans, and supervisory level of management, it prepares the routine plans. Day-to-day planning, that is done by the supervisory level of management. Then we say planning is a continuous process. It is not that once you have made a plan, your job is over. Because we say that planning is all about predicting future and then deciding onto the course of action. But we say future is highly uncertain, right? We are dealing with the external environment which is highly volatile. So what if the conditions that you had predicted, right, those